evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming out tonight. Again, I'm Dr. Will White, School District Administrator for the school district. It is 6 o'clock, and we're going to start promptly this evening. To show how it's going to work tonight, our process. Mrs. Shredder, our school business manager, and myself will go through some slides. So basically give you an overview of the why we're here tonight. The why that we believe as the two administrators here that the referendum is a solution for the school district. We will talk about what it means if you don't pass the referendum. We'll walk through several of those things. After we've done the presentation, the board members will take a seat at one of the tables along with Jennifer and I. We're not probably go to the same table. If you have questions or feedback or things you want to share, you're welcome to pick a board member or one of us and share your thoughts and ask your questions. So that is a general overview of tonight. Before we get started, I want to introduce the board members. We have an excellent board. They are very supportive of our school district. They are always about student learning and putting students first, and always strong advocates for our staff. And those members are our board president, Jack Lopian, board vice president, Carolyn Nelson, board treasurer, Dr. Patrick Kyer, and member at large, Mark Schneider. Ed Nichols is our fifth board member. Ed is on business he's in Las Vegas. So we're a little jealous, but he would be here if he could, but he's just out of town on business. Okay, next slide. So why we are here. The Williams-Bay School District has established over its history a reputation for excellence. There's a lot of tradition in this community, and we produce students K-12 or pre-K-12 that just do phenomenal things in our communities and beyond. Hopefully you had a chance to see this over the early summer, early fall. You're going to pick a copy tonight. You're going to see in this booklet, we highlight a lot of the great things that our kids accomplished during last school year. And we see kids earn Holt scholarships. We see kids go to university of high distinction. We see kids volunteering and making a difference in our community. We saw last Friday, Thursday, our elementary students recognizing our veterans. We see our high school students getting ready for a wonderful musical this weekend. So this school district has provided tremendous assets to our community, to our students. We also have a very talented staff. They come to school and work hard every day to provide an excellent education for our kids. They're involved locally and on the state level. And unfortunately, we've lost quite a few good staff members over the last few years, lots of different reasons. But some of that is the reason we're here tonight, which is our school finances, and we'll talk about that more as we go into this. Our schools are a hub for our community. Our kids are very involved in the community. They're out there doing things. Our community is in our schools. We feel like the Williams-Bay School District is the heart of the Williams-Bay community. Without the school district and without its success, this would not be as a successful community as it is. And we strongly believe, as we're presenting tonight, that the operating referendum is the only true solution to the financial issues and to the future well-being of the school district.
Thank you everyone for being here. I'm Jennifer Frederick, the business manager. We spent a lot of time over the last, several years, but really the last 6 months, truly digging deep into our finances, looking at our current spending levels, our future spending levels, and what all is needed. You probably have heard this term. If you have not, you will as soon as mid-January comes around. But we are facing a fiscal cliff. What this means is our state funding is solely restricted through something called the funding formula. It's a formula of the rolling 3-year average of students attending, or student members of the district, which I'll talk about in a second, times their per pupil aid. In the last biennial budget, the state chose not to increase that per pupil funding aid amount. Solely because, or mostly because of ESSER funding, for that term as well. It's a COVID federal relief money that we received again from the federal government operational costs. The state took that opportunity to use those funds rather than coming from the state budget to fund public school districts. So in doing that, those funds now will come to a close at September 30th, 2024. So we have budgeted the use of those funds for this current fiscal year, this current school year, and those will be coming off. This year alone, we'll be spending about $490,000 of that ESSER funding, again, which is then no longer going to be part of our budget, part of our revenues for next year. This truly is a cliff. This is not a gradual decline of enrollment. As we see pupil counts statewide decreasing, how that funding formula is created then results in lower revenues across the state again, which I'll get to in a moment. So we're a little bit unique here in the district and in the area actually, that we have such a high property value that actually hurts us with state funding. We do not receive much equalization aid, which if you look, and again, all this information is on the DPI website, but there are districts not far from here, within 20 or 30 minutes, that are receiving billions of dollars per year in equalization aid. We get about $20,000. The remaining of our funds through the funding formula come from property taxes. And again, the state tells us what our maximum amount we can levy from the public is through that funding formula. So as enrollment declines, the amount we are allowed to ask declines, and that is where we get in the position we are today. It's important to note that when we talk about declining enrollment, for purposes of the state funding, it's based off of the number of school-age children that reside in Williams Bay. It doesn't matter if they attend Williams Bay School District or not, it's how many live in our district. So when starting homes in our district are at such high levels, it's difficult for young families, starter homes, young families to move into the village and attend the school. So again, by no means are we saying that enrollment is just dropping here. Obviously, you can see our trend. The FTE, that means students in the district, not just, in the district boundaries, living in the 5 municipalities that comprise Williams Bay School District. And then our headcount is actually attending our school. So again, those numbers have dropped. We're in the top 3 in the state for the sharpest decline in enrollment. And if you look on DPI's website and you filter by the steepest decline, you'll find that several of the Lake Bay area schools are on that top of the list. So just an important note there. Yep.
So just again, when we talk about FTEs in the district, we've talked about 120 students over the last 3 years. I want to be really clear with you, that's not students that live in Williams Bay going to another school district. Williams Bay is still a school of choice for families around the area. So when you see that enrollment drop, the number from 646 to 622, why our overall enrollment, why are we still getting lots of enrollment kids? We still are bringing in kids from outside the district, but we've had to restrict the numbers in our elementary levels as those low classes have come in. Because we're not going to run a class of 12, 13 kids 3 sessions. So we've had to limit the number of kids we'll take at grade level, so we track down to 2 sessions and not run inefficient. We knew our money was going to be tight, so we had to control those expenditures to be as fiscally responsible. So that's why you're seeing 2 sessions in the elementary and not 3 in most cases. So we are still a school of choice. Our teachers are still doing an incredible job teaching, and our kids perform very highly. But that's what I want to highlight on attendance.
So another thing I just want to touch base on is there was a lot of communication right after the biennial budget was approved this summer, how the state legislature put $1 billion in the public schools. I just want to touch on that because the impact to Williams Bay School District, again, because of the funding formula, we got $13,650. They increased $325 per pupil. That was a one-time measure. I don't know if you remember, every year is actually line vetoed, made that annual every sounds great, by all means, we're all for as much money as we can get, however, that still does not help us. It gave us $13,000. So this truly doesn't, when enrollment is declining, and again, that's declining statewide, we're having lower birth rates, we're having lower school age population in rural areas. Any per pupil increase is kind of netted out by that declining enrollment. So again, what we're talking about here, well, actually, let me back up. So as I mentioned before, we're not alone. I would say the Lake Geneva general area with higher property values is hit harder than most in the state. And that is shown on a lot of those lists at the state level, where you can actually filter by the different factors. I personally emailed all the school districts in the area. These are emails back from to me. I know this information is available at the state level as well, but Burlington, Fontana, Clinton, Bellevue, Eastwood, Elkhorn, Atkinson, Jewel City, Trader, Waller, Whitewood, Water Woods, all of them have gone to referendum already or are about to go this year. There are still more people on that list that have not emailed me back. Some are reluctant to publicly say whether or not they're going because they're still crunching numbers and still determining their school boards are determining what would be the next best option. But literally everyone is saying within the next 3 to 5 years, as the ESSER funding goes away, how they're able to absorb that drop with their declining enrollment. You'll also notice those that fail their referendum are going back again for the referendum. This is not a one-time need for additional revenue. This is, we are literally unable, we're prohibited from levying the same amount next year as we did this past year. We're not asking for more money, we're asking for continued, consistent funding. So those that failed are going back again because, again, we can't keep operating a business with less revenue than we receive.
And some that have passed are going back.
Yes.
Just because you pass once doesn't mean you're done forever. You're going to see a lot of these districts, and we're probably in that same boat. It's when it becomes cyclical. Every number of years, we'll be back saying we need to go through referendum.
Yeah, exactly. This will be continuous until the state changes the funding mechanism. We have talked to state legislators. They have said that they think that public school funding should be a local control, a local decision. So if that's the case, then we will continue to keep going back to the local public to decide an appropriate level of funding our schools. So I know, for example, Fontana, they are going back, I think, 2 years now for year 3 of a continuous, they ask for 3 or 4 or 5 years, they come back and they keep asking the local communities to support that consistent level of funding.
So certainly everybody is familiar with rising expenses. If you live in a home in the state of Wisconsin, or if you live anywhere in the world, your costs go up. Certainly that is true to us as a school district. Again, Jennifer talked about we're not asking for more money, we're asking to try to maintain the level of funding balance. But even though we reduce a lot of costs, our other costs continue to go up. We saw about a 28% increase in property insurance, liability insurance, those kinds of things. We saw a 16% increase in our health and medical insurance. Our transportation contract goes up consistently every year. We use a transportation service to bus our kids. Our contract and our cleaning money goes up every year. So just as cost at your home goes up, our costs are going up quite exponentially as well. There's just nothing we buy or purchase or use that has gone up in price. The other thing with the limited revenue and rising costs, we have not given our staff members what they call CPI, the Consumer Price Index. Basically, that's how much inflation has gone up each year. 2 years ago, it was 4.7%. The board was able to give the employees a 4% increase. Last year, it was about 8.7, 8.9. Now 8%, the board gave a 4%. So our teachers are lagging behind in salary increases. There was an article that came out about 4 months ago from CNBC about what a living wage for a single person in the state of Wisconsin is. It's $53,000 per year for a single person to live in Wisconsin. We we start new employees in our district at $42,000 for a teacher. So we are recognizing and seeing, one, that it's very hard for a young person to work in our community and live anywhere close and know they're going to make a living. The other part is when we do CPI and we're only getting 4% each year, that person's not going to get $53,000 for about 10, 15 years. So we know we also need to address salaries and benefits in our district to continue to attract and retain high quality educators. And again, I mentioned before, we've lost quite a few good ones over the last 3 years. And some of that has been because we are not able to match other districts' compensation structure. Again, we talked about declining enrollment, restricted funding. The district has tried to adjust to that. As I talked about before, we reduced sections in the elementary school, we reduced staffing in the middle school, high school. As we needed to adjust, the board has adjusted, but it really hasn't greatly reduced our expenditures. We had pushed off using our ESSER funds as long as we could. We knew this was coming. We saw what the state did 2 years ago with my annual budget, so we held to our funds, so we didn't have to come any sooner than we had to the public for the referendum question. But again, that's only going to hold us for so long. We got a 10-year facilities plan. We make sure the facility projects we are doing are needs. They're not what we want to do. So, for example, somebody may say, well, you just did your sidewalk out front, you just did the drive on the west side of the district. They were in very, very bad shape. There were big holes in the sidewalk, risking kids twisting an ankle, especially during the winter months, and they were only going to get bigger, and the drives would deteriorate. We would have done that during the summer, but we needed to make sure we had the money in our budget before we spent. So we had to wait to do projects until the money's guaranteed. But before you start, well, the money will be there. So we are being really clear that projects we do have to be needs. I do like to remodel a boys' locker room. That's a lot. It looks bad, but it works. It functions. So again, we are really using that 10-year plan to drive needs and not wants. And then we budget for the visits. The visits also pay off our debt center, which reduces the burden on the taxpayer. That's allowed us to try to keep our levy rate pretty consistent with the taxpayer. So we're now doing that as well. Again, going forward, financial stewardship going forward, we know that the enrollment continues to decline. The board recognizes we have to continue to reduce expenditures. We're not going to the public and say, oh, we're going to keep it as it is, keep giving us more money. Because we know costs are going to keep going up. We have to continue to constrain our budgets within reason as they're dictated by enrollment in our program. So we will align this activities to the student population as we go forward. We'll find solutions to constrain our increased costs with our contracts. We'll be working with our bus company and our cleaner to see if there's ways to reduce those costs. We'll find other ways to reduce those contracted services. We're working with our insurance provider to find ways to control the rising insurance costs for health insurance. So the board's not just looking at this and saying, well, let's go to the public and ask for more money. They're constantly trying to reduce expenditures as we go along. As we look at our 24-25 budget, we're already looking at $300,000 of reductions that we're going to be doing. And that will result in some non-renewal layoffs for some employees and some things. But again, the enrollment's dictated that we don't need those positions. That's just the business we're in. So we are working to tighten our belt. A lot of people say, well, you just need to look at your means tightened up. We're doing that. But our means is not there. What will the board be asked to consider? First, we'll be asked to consider whether we're doing a referendum question to the community. We'll be asked to determine if it's a recurring or non-recurring referendum. For those who are familiar with referendums, recurring means we're asking for X amount of dollars in perpetuity. So a district may say we'd like a $2 million referendum forever. Or they ask for a non-recurring referendum, and the board sets the number of years for that non-recurring referendum. So they could ask for a referendum for a year, 5 years, 20 years, they just pick a number of years they'd like to go for. So it will be the job of the board to determine what kind of referendum will the community support. that's part of the reason we're here tonight. What kind of referendum would people support? Is it a recurring referendum? Is it a non-recurring referendum? Is it non-recurring? Is it 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 20 years? I don't know. They'll be asked to determine an amount for the referendum. So in their question they present to the community, they choose to go to referendum, they have to say, well, we need $2 million for the next 5 years each year, or we want 1.2 the first year, 1.5 the second year, 1.7 the third year. They have to make a decision of those amounts in timeline in the referendum question. And again, they're also going to have to continue to address the financial stewardship going forward. How do we constrain and control those costs so that we're being as responsible as we can? At the bottom line on there, we're going to be looking at a deficit of about 1 million to 2.5 million over the next 5 years. And that's each year. It just keeps getting bigger. So the first year might be $1 million, the second year might be $1.5 million, the third year might be, so it's just going to keep growing. Even if we do constrain those costs, it's just going to keep getting bigger. Basically, what we're asking in the community, we're asking your support to preserve the high-quality student learning experience in our district. That is our sole priority, is making sure our kids continue to experience quality education. They're getting an education, we need to continue that. We need to protect our low class sizes. We need to maintain our academic arts and authentic learning experiences. We need to continue to produce college and career-ready students. We need to produce well-rounded students. We have a student almost every year with a full scholarship. I think I've been here 11 years and only 1 year we didn't have a winner. That's because our students are the most rounded students in the state. They get to do musicals and sports and do all kinds of interesting classes, whether it's online or in person. They get to take classes at Gateway or Whitewater. Our students are highly prepared for their next step in their career, whether it's going straight into the workforce or going to a 4-year university, and again, we need to maintain that. We also need to continue to make sure that we have a well-maintained facility for all of our kids and our public. And second, we need to make sure we attract and retain high-quality teachers. Again, I talked about not keeping up with salaries and benefits for our staff. We've got to be able to do that. So, basically, what's the alternative? If we don't go to referendum or we don't pass a referendum, what's going to happen? One, class sizes will need to increase. There is just no way around that. Typically, in most districts, 80% of your budget is staffing and benefits. Now, this district is about 60% because 20% is also our contracted services. So if we did our own cleaning in-house and we did our own buses and those kinds of things, we get that 80% like most districts. So the only true way you cut significant amounts of money from your budget is reducing staffing. And with reduced staffing comes increased class sizes and loss of programs. So if we reduce programs, we'll introduce probably eliminate some course offerings, some activities that these for the kids. We'll need to control salaries and benefits. We'll need to, again, work with our services and share services with other districts. Currently, we do share some staff in some of the other districts, and we're constantly working with them to see what we can share. We know that's the most efficient. We will defer more maintenance projects. Again, everything's up for grabs. If we don't pass a referendum in the spring, or the board chooses not to go to referendum, we will be looking at anything and everything to save money. There's just no choice. So, what we're prepared to do is present a question to the board or a recommendation to the board that a non-recurring operated referendum be put on the ballot. We're looking for additional money. Most likely, our sense of this budget, Jennifer and I are listening to people in the community. 3 years is probably about the max people will accept. I would love to go non-recurring. We go recurring. I'd love to go for 5 years. But again, we're trying to judge what we think the public will support. We anticipate the board for resolution special annual levy exceed the limit at least $2 million. So I wrote out that amount. And we had forecast tax bills down for residents, and we'll let Jennifer talk about that.
Sure, yeah. I just want to hammer home again. When we say additional funding, what we're talking about is additional funding above what the funding formula restricts us at. So we're not asking for $1.1 to $2 million more than what you gave us this current year. We're asking, like, right now, when I talk about the taxes going down, the board has not approved a referendum question. That won't happen until January, which we'll talk about. So I'm hesitant to throw out any specific numbers because it can change. But my current model right now, I have us asking or needing $50,000 more than what you gave us this year. But again, because of the funding formula, I'm at $1.5 million down. So again, when we say additional funding, costs are going up. We're not talking about additional money on top of what you've already given us. We're telling you keep us where we're at. We'll make do. We're cutting costs as we can already. No one can operate with $1.5 million less of funding. So again, when we say additional, it's exceeding the revenue limit set by the state by $1 to $2 million. Again, my current model that again the board will make their decision on exact dollar amounts, and we'll definitely give the details when it's time, which would be after the referendum question is voted on. But right now, my model shows a $290 drop in property taxes for the average homeowner, which is a $350,000 home. Instead of having your taxes drop $300, they would drop $75. So again, we're still projecting that taxes will go down because we're not asking for more. We're asking for the same. So if we can just not see the huge drop in taxes paid to the school district, it would protect everything that Dr. Wright had talked about previously. So I tried to, I'm a visual person, so I tried to kind of create a graph that would show us what we're talking about. So our funding has always been right around $10 million our levy. That's fluctuated just a little bit, but as you can see, it's fluctuated within 100,000 or so. We've had a very consistent levy. So again, the ESSER funding helped us stay up at that $10 million level. In 24-25 is when we'll see it drop $1.5 million. How I talked about before, the dark blue is the amount needed just to keep the exact same dollar amount of what you've been giving us in the past or what you gave us this year. The orange is what I have built into the model to equal additional rising costs of what we feel we need to produce an educational institution that will be something the entire community can be proud of, and that students that we can be proud of. So again, we all know, we said our health insurance went up 16%. That's $290,000, just that 16% increase. So we're doing everything we can on our end to cut costs. We just need the community to continue funding us the way they have been. We're not asking for anything insane above and beyond what we've had before. So again, it's not an increased cost problem. We can manage our budget just like everyone else is expected to. It's the community needs. We're willing to do that. We'll put in work. But we need to have a consistent level of funding. It's a decreased revenue problem.
Yeah. So what's going to happen over the next couple months? In December, the board will have a very serious conversation at this board meeting about the potential referendum. We'll ask a lot of questions. At that meeting, we're going to give much firmer numbers about what the projections are and how much we are going to recommend they ask in a referendum question. So we'll have lots of debate and conversation about that, and certainly over the next few months, they'll be listening to community members like yourself in the audience. In January, they will have to make a decision if they're going to place a referendum question on the ballot. They have to do that in January. There's statutory timelines that they have to meet. So if they decide not to do it in January, it ain't going to happen in April. So they will have to make that decision at the January board meeting. If they choose not to go to referendum, then we will engage in lots of conversations about how we reduce $1 million point whatever dollars, and that'll happen throughout the spring. If they go to referendum, put a question on the ballot, then we are going to work our butts off trying to inform the community, make sure everybody has all the information they need to make a decision they want to support or not support the referendum. We will be going out to all different organizations in the community, Lions Club, Civic League, we'll go to the fire department, we're going to go to all the village meetings and town meetings. And if you got a group that says Nest Coffee on a Tuesday morning at the greengrocer, we'll come and talk to you. If you got a group of people, 2 or 3, that meet in your house and about the play parks, we'll come and talk to you. We'll talk to anybody that's willing to listen and gather more information so they're informed and can make a decision that is based on very good information. We'll also get lots of flyers, social media, and those things out. We find the best way to really inform people is that face-to-face. The board also, those next months, whether they go to referendum or not, we'll be talking about how we restrict our budget. And so where is that $300,000 coming from? And they will be prepared if the referendum does not pass. So they'll be talking about what happens if it doesn't pass. They need to make that decision based on what we've heard from the public. People want to know 3 things. How much are you asking for and why? They want to know what happens if it doesn't pass and how's it impacting my tax bill if I vote for it. We need to really inform people on those 3 questions. So by the time the board decides in January if it's going to go to referendum, they will also have a good sense of what we're going to have to reduce if it doesn't pass. So the public is highly, highly informed of those implications. The board hasn't really held any conversations about potential cuts yet. We really didn't get the financial forecast model completed. We did that about 2 weeks ago. The board will be meeting in November to have some of those early conversations, having conversations about potential reductions in December. When that January decision is made, they will know what happens if it doesn't pass or if they don't go to referendum.
Just because we have people here today, we just want to take every opportunity to let you know if the board goes to referendum, the election day will be April 2nd. That's Tuesday. It's our first day back after spring break. So we just want to make sure that people going out of town for spring break, everyone's excited about spring break and maybe getting to the polls is not on your radar. So we just want to make sure that everyone kind of saves the day and knows you can vote early, vote again. As soon as we know we're going to referendum for certain and we know the dollar amount, so many more details will come out. But we just want to make sure that we don't have misinformation and get as much, get down to the exact numbers that we have. But save the date for now. So again, the funding formula is what's causing this decline in revenue based on declining enrollment of people living in our community. School districts all over the state are seeing it. Again, after that January deadline of passing we have to file a resolution with the state declaring that we're going to referendum. Once we do that, you're going to be seeing this all over the newspapers. They're anticipating record years already. Last year was a record year for referendums for school districts. So we're not alone. You'll be hearing about this fiscal cliff. We'll be sharing information. But for today, we just wanted to kind of get the word out. Really some feedback back from you.
So at this point, again, thank you first of all for coming out and listening to basically all the information we're sharing with you this evening. At this point, what we're going to invite you to do is, again, we're going to invite the board members to go over and have a seat at one of the tables. You guys can start doing that. Certainly, if you have specific questions, feel free to address those to any of the 6 people. And again, at any point you have a question, suggestion, thought, call me, email me, call Jennifer, email her, or you can always email the board. But again, we're open to anything you've got to have to share, because this is critical to the future of our school district and the future of our kids. The bottom line is, if we don't go to referendum, if we don't pass a referendum, it will have a tremendous impact on the quality of education in the school district. There's just no way around it. So we're being very emphatic about that. And our bottom line is we need to protect our future, which is our children in this community. So again, please come down if you'd like to chat with the board members. Feel free to stop by our offices. Give us a message and we'll come out and visit with you. Thank you guys.